Good morning. You listen to the BLAINESWORLD show for each Wednesday morning here on WPVM LP in Asheville, North Carolina. Just making sure I have my sound on. It doesn't sound it yet, so that would help if we had some sound on.
Yes.
A second, guys. And I think we're all set. So now we have the sound going, and I should tell you that we focus on the Asheville theater scene, as well as on positive news and information about people and organizations in the Asheville area. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce my first guests this morning, Linda Williams and Sarah Sender. And welcome aboard, guys.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And I think we can hear you and we're in good shape. I should mention that Linda is the owner-founder of Relationships Today, and we'll talk a little bit about that organization. She leads communication workshops for business and small groups. Linda founded I love the title, Relationshape,
Yes.
and is president of Linda Williams Consulting. She's also the communication director for the Sarasota, Florida Living and Community Network. She's a facilitator, mentor, and consultant to organizations and individuals nationwide. Sarah, who we're going to have on another show, is a passionate global activist and social entrepreneur, and is building these organizations with the intention of making a great positive impact on people, all people involved. She has been working with the people of Rwanda for a decade, creating a vehicle that would support local health for women, offering resources for overcoming trauma in post-genocide Rwanda. Wow. And we'll have to do a show on just that. But I think I asked Sarah to come on today a little bit because you're going to talk about the work you've done with Linda. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
I recently did a workshop with Linda, and it really has made a big impact in my life.
Okay, great. Well, Linda, then let me ask you about the workshops. So you do these workshops, and I always wonder when I speak to people that where do you get the idea to come up with these workshops?
I'm a lifelong learner and educator, and when I was little, I knew I wanted to teach. So I had a wonderful 30-year career as not only a classroom teacher, I taught middle school for about 8 years, but then for 22 years I was full-time staff development. So here I am, very successful, making changes, helping people, but there were always people who I couldn't connect with. So I would try harder with my techniques that I thought were successful in communicating and find out they weren't working. So I became interested in learning how could I change the way I'm communicating to be even more effective. And I found a process and some instruments that helped me do that. And as an educator, I'm here to share it.
And so you found these instruments. How do you find them?
I found them because there was a colleague of mine who told me about this new information that he was learning, and he invited me to come. And when I saw that I could learn a practical process, that I was using data-driven information, and I saw how easily it worked, I incorporated in my life, and with my teaching background, I try and make it very clear and comfortable for people to learn it.
And you call the concept is called, what is it called?
The concept of my company is Relationshape, because in any given moment you can shape and reshape your relationship. The instrument that I use is called DISC, D-I-S-C, and it's been around for over 40 years. Yesterday I found out even more information about the gentleman who did the background research. He is the inventor of the lie detector. He was a psychologist and a lawyer, Harvard educated, and he is the author of the Wonder Woman comic books.
How did you find that out?
I found that out because his name is William Marston, M-A-R-S-T-O-N. And what happened was his work as a psychologist really had him look at what is the behavior of normal people. So this instrument has us look at normal people in terms of it transcends gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic. It's about people. And there are 4 major styles of communication or the way people are wired that makes it easy to learn.
And so I guess that's how we found Sarah, in terms of she was a normal person, right?
There's a big
about
range of normal.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, Sarah. So you heard about this, and I'm just curious, how did you hear about this?
One of my friends recommended it. I had known Linda before, and I'm actually working with a speech coach. I've been working on a presentation in speech to help share the story about the work that I do, and he suggested that I take a look at Linda's workshop, and I really respected him and really I just knew that it was something I needed to do, and I've always wanted to improve my communication for I think it can help every aspect of life, personal, professional, so it just seemed like a no-brainer, and the way she set up the workshop was very accessible in terms of scheduling, and we really fit a lot into a short amount of time.
And so you just completed the course?
I did, but I think it's an ongoing process, so there's more work that I'll be doing with Linda, with my partner and Linda, and I could imagine this year working with Linda more closely in my business and staff and employees. So I did the first part of what she offers.
And talk about that. I guess I'll have Linda talk about it, because I was very impressed with that when you were telling me about the program initially, you said you have a workshop, and it's how long is the workshop initially?
The workshop spans what I'm thinking is about 6 hours. The first part is about understanding yourself. So you are given an online research-based self-assessment where you look at what are you, out of 4 choices, what are you most like or least like. And then what happens is you then are able to see a profile of what are your dominant, comfortable styles. So the first thing is about yourself. Then you learn about other styles that are different from yours and that you're going to begin to look at differently. And the last part is, now that you've learned strategies, what's working, what's not, and what can you do differently. So the last workshop we had was sharing what you're working, and as we went around the room and I asked everyone to share ahas, when I heard Sarah share how she's using it in work and how beautifully she put it, I went, that's the goal. That is the goal and the value of learning how to change the way you communicate in any given moment so that the other person feels heard.
And I think what I like about it, when you were telling me about it, it's also the idea that, again, it's not just the workshop, but then you have follow-up afterward.
Yes, in fact, I'm going to be putting together lots of different ways to follow up, and one of them is to do a twice-a-month lunch and learn, where we can pick a topic or you can give a situation. That's one of the greatest gifts about changing communication patterns, is to be able to bring a real situation in your life in the moment and then have people help support you in how you would change the way you currently respond to make a difference.
Now, Sarah, when you took the workshop, did you find that you did change as a result of it?
I think the immediate change for me was becoming more aware. So also having more compassion for myself and others, in that certain ways that we are, we're just wired to be that way. But I also was able to recognize that although we may be born a certain way and wired a certain way, in times of stress or overwhelm, that can become a detriment. So that can hinder relationships. And so I started to recognize the pattern that I had as, falling into one of these 4 main types that Linda referenced, and then how to recognize other people